Hey YouTube, this is Alex back with Team Generations, here to bring you a Mordred Phantom PBO deck profile. It's kind of like a hybrid build. Super fun, not a super linear kind of play style. It's really up to you how you want to take it. So very excited to bring this to you. I haven't really seen too many other deck profiles like this. So without further ado, let's jump into some pros and cons. Alright, jumping right into some of the pros of the deck. First pro that really comes to mind is that this deck is super versatile. There's so many different ways that you can play it. This kind of forces the player to read the situation, realize, hey, I should be going into Mordred this turn, I should be continuing on with the PBO play. It's really up to you what you want to do. And there's so many ways to search out the key pieces that you need in this deck. And there's so many different just strategies that you can implement in order to reach your winning image, so to speak. So versatility is definitely a huge pro. You're not locked into one specific playstyle or one specific gift marker. So I really like that. Going on the next pro, the ability to just generate a ton of force markers. Now, on your first grade 3 ride, that could technically be your first grade 2 turn. I'll show you how to kind of use that superior ride engine in order to generate that, but we're just getting force markers, like a ton of them pretty much every turn if we're riding into Mordred. That enables us to have a way more powerful PBO turn, or if you're going for that PBO turn, you can spread out force ones if you want, so that by your first manual grade 3 ride, you have at least 2 markers on the field. Put them both on Vanguard, rear guard, whatever you want, whatever you feel like is gonna set you up with the most advantageous kind of situation. So second pro is really having the ability to generate quite a bit of force markers, and of course this is a force deck, so you're on those nice force numbers. And then the last pro, I guess the last pro is that not all of your plays are kind of telegraphed. People think, hey, this guy's using the superior ride engine, boom, he's gonna go right into PBO. You're not telegraphing all your plays because we are actually running Mordred in here. So you, like I said before, are pretty versatile, and your opponent can't quite get a read on that immediately. It's good just to kind of have your options open. So yeah, no telegraphing plays, which is pretty useful sometimes. I guess the last real, advantage or pro, if you want to call it that, is the fact that it's not Luard, so people won't rip you as hard for playing this deck. It's not the S tier deck that's running around stomping everybody. So yeah, get to enjoy the not shame of not running Luard. Now for some cons, definitely can get resource starved in this. Like a lot of other decks, you rely heavily off of counterblasts. Usually 2 counterblasts you can get off a pretty deadly turn. Sometimes if you want to take a bit more damage, 3 opens you up to some really nice plays, especially if you're going into a Mordred turn. We could show you that a little bit later. But yeah, resource starving, like a lot of other decks though. So that's one. The second, I would say, con is that super piece reliant. If you don't open up certain cards, it's tough to get something going, and if you don't get that superior ride engine going, it really slows down your entire play. You don't have that Phantom Blaster Dragon in the soul, kind of slows you down, forces you into a different kind of play style. It's hard, it feels bad drawing into that, so definitely piece reliant. Definitely need to see in the main, so I'll show you in the profile exactly what I'm talking about with that superior ride engine and how it helps us. So yeah, those are the pros and cons, and let's get right into the deck itself. All right, starting off with our grade 3s, we are running a couple different grade 3s actually. We are running 4 Phantom Blaster Overlord. Phantom Blaster Overlord skills: during your turn, if you have a Phantom Blaster Dragon in soul, this unit gets an extra 10,000 and an additional critical. Its original critical becomes 2. That's actually important phrasing, because if you if you use a Force 2 marker on this, it does not matter. This is still only 2 critical, so just be wary of that. Don't put Force 2 on this immediately and expect 3 crits. Its second ability, it allows us to multi-attack, so when it attacks a Vanguard, we can counterblast 1, retire any number of our rear guards. Our opponent does the same with their rear guards, the same number, and then we are able to search our deck for a card with Blaster in its card name and call it to rear guard circle. That unit then gets an extra 10k, and we shuffle our deck. This is good because, like I said before, we don't want to draw our Phantom Blaster Dragon. This kind of enables us to search it out and place it on board. You can also search out Blaster Dark if you don't have any left in deck, so not quite as powerful with that 10k body on Blaster Dark, but still definitely an option. It's nice if you really need one. You know, you're gonna have a Mordred turn next turn. I'll show you. You can also kind of have that in there. So yeah, 4 of those. And then, just because we just spoke about Phantom Blaster Overlord, I'm only running 2 Phantom Blaster Dragons. We don't need more than 2. I know a lot of pure PBO builds run 4 of them. You rarely will, you know, damage both of them or draw one, damage the other. It's very, very rare. By your grade 1 turn when you get this, or grade 2 turn when you get this out. I'll show you how to do that. So we were only running 2 of these. They mainly are just getting searched out. We don't want to draw these in hand. They clog up, but running 2 for safety, definitely a decent play. So just 2. And I'm not really going over the Vanguard skill because we don't really use it. So, and they've been out so long, so everybody kind of knows it. I'm also running 2 Illusionary Avenger Mordred Phantom. Now, Mordred's skill is that when your Blaster Dark is placed on rearguard, you get an imaginary gift force. When it attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, we can counterblast 1 and stand all of our Blaster Darks. They get plus 10,000 until the end of turn. Now, you know, this card's been out for a while. Everybody kind of knows the strategy behind it. Swing with Blaster Darks, stand them, power them up, swing again. This enables us really, though. This is a super force marker generating turn. It's always good to have Blaster Darks swinging, like, clearly you're getting cards out of their hand. They're still swinging. I know they're only single damage if you're going force 1, but still, if you are able to, it's still, you know, a decent play overall. I've definitely won on Mordred Phantom before, so still a very decent card overall. And getting all those force markers really enables our Phantom Blaster Dragon. You know, next turn, let's say we go into a PBO off of this guy, then we're gonna have 1 from our Superior Ride, 1 at least from Mordred, and then it's safe to assume maybe you can get an additional 1, maybe 2. So by your second manual grade 3 ride, you are able to generate like 4 force markers, which is pretty big. You know, 2 markers on your Vanguard, 2 markers on a rear guard, and then you call out another rear guard on top of that. So it's tough for an opponent to keep up with that, especially with force numbers. So I like Mordred Phantom at a 2 of. If you wanted to, you can bump this up to 3, maybe bump down PBO to 3 as well. Completely up to you, but as of right now, I'm running just 2 of them. I find that it works, and it really enables us to have just such a diverse kind of style in the deck. I feel like both Mordred Phantom and PBO kind of use a lot of the same cards, benefit off the same engine, so it just kind of makes sense. Why not use them both, you know? Porque no los dos. Yep, so 2 of those. And for our final grade 3, we are still running 1 Danger Lunge Dragon. The reason I'm running this is that, oh, I'm sorry, let me go over the skill first. When it's placed, you can Soul Blast 1 grade 3 and return a grade 2 card from our drop zone to hand. That's on Vanguard only. And then when it attacks, if we have 3 or more force markers, we could Soul Blast 1 grade 3 at the end of battle. This unit gets 10,000 an extra crit, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels. Oh my god, I can't talk. But yeah, this basically can go off our very first manual grade 3 ride, which is nice. So if I have only a Mordred Phantom in hand, I ride this, and let's say we did successfully get off the Superior Ride engine first, so we already have a force marker wherever it is. We ride our second, we get our second, we call 1 Blaster Dark from hand, boom, we have 3. This guy is online on our very first manual grade 3 ride, so still very threatening, you know, good, decent card. Also can be used as a finisher still. Don't be afraid to do that. Later on in the game, this is definitely threatening. Moving on to our grade 2s. Starting off with a main target, this is Dump Hood Dragon. This is a new card out of Phantom Blaster Aeon. It kind of is a key piece in our Superior Ride engine, in my opinion. Its skill is continuous on rearguard. If I have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, it gets plus 5,000. Not really important. And then also an Act ability on rearguard. You get to Soul Blast 1 and retire this unit. We search our deck for up to 1 Blaster Dark, reveal it, put it into our hand, and shuffle our deck. I'm going to show you the combo later, kind of with this. If you open a main 1 other grade 1, you essentially are guaranteed to kind of get that Superior Ride engine off. And this is a key part of it. So yeah, I'm running this at a 2 of. It's a dead card after the search engine, really. I mean, it's good sometimes to be able to search out a Blaster Dark, but for the most part, kind of is a dead card. We don't want 5k, too many 5k grade 2 bodies in our deck. I'm also running 2 of these guys. This is what is it? Nullity Revenger Masquerade. This is basically a card that came out with Mordred, more of a Blaster Dark Mordred support. When placed, we have to look at the top 7 of our deck, reveal up to 1 Phantom Blaster, Mordred, or a Blaster Dark. And then if we did add one of them to hand, we can retire something. I know everyone kind of knows it, but just for anybody who might not, if you ride this on Vanguard, you kind of don't want to do that in this deck, but if you have to, if you ride this on Vanguard, your field is empty, you don't have to retire anything else, you do as much of the skill as possible. So you get kind of like a free search, but that's a bad situation we don't kind of want to be in. This is good just to dig a little bit deeper. Maybe you're on a PBO turn, and you're looking for your Mordred, maybe for next turn, you pop this guy down, look for him, or a Blaster Dark, whatever you really need, you can get either one of those two. And it's nice too because during the battle attack to Vanguard, whether it's on Van or rear, it gets an extra plus 3k, so it makes those nice force numbers there. To wrap up our grade 2s, I know we were talking about it, we have 4 Blaster Darks. We're not really using this card for either of its skills. This is just part of the superior ride engine and the Mordred strategy. But when it's placed on Van or rear, we get to counterblast 1. Our opponent chooses one of their rear guards and retires it. The second ability we don't really ever use in this deck, but if your opponent has no rear guards, we get to discard a card and we get Twin Drive. But yeah, definitely necessary for both Mordred and the superior ride engine. Can also be good as a target for PBO, so running 4 of them, max. Yeah, pretty necessary. I think it's necessary in both PBO and in Mordred, and in my head, those cards, that card being, essential to both decks, I'm like, you know what, why not run both Vanguards and change up the playstyle a little. Moving into the grade 1s, this is what I'm most on the fence about, running 4 of her. It's really good to open her. We don't need to search her out, but it's not necessary. Right now, I am running 4. I might cut this down to 3 and maybe bump a Masquerade up or play with another grade 3 searcher at the grade 1. But for now, I'm trying out the 4 of these girls. It works pretty well. Her skill is that this is Freezing Witch Bendy. And if our Vanguard is Blaster Dark, we get to Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, search our deck for up to 1 Phantom Blaster Dragon, ride it as stand, and shuffle our deck. And then that unit placed cannot activate their act abilities. So super essential in the superior ride engine, crucial getting out our Phantom Blaster Dragon out of deck and onto the Vanguard circle when we're at grade 2. So yeah, really, really useful. We absolutely need her. She is in the main target, big time. The only thing about her is she becomes a dead card after that, and she's a 5k body. I mean, obviously she has a 10k shield, she is a grade 1, but might scale her down to 3, not 100% sure yet. But moving on, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the main. The most crucial card in this deck, honestly. If you don't open the main, you need to be super, super lucky otherwise. What you want to do, let me read the main skill. So basically we get to act on rearguard circle. We rest this unit, search our deck for up to 1 5,000, a card with 5,000 power, call it to an open rearguard circle, and shuffle our deck. This ability can only be used once per turn with a card with the same name. So like I said, yeah, the most important card pretty much in this deck, you open this and at least one other grade 1 to ride during your first turn, you're pretty much guaranteed to have your search. Yeah, you are 99% guaranteed to have your superior ride engine go off. What you do is basically call them in. You rode something else. Let's say we rode, I don't know. Yeah, we rode her, whatever. Rode her, call in the main, rest in the main, call out a 5k card. We can call out one of 2. We can call out either Dumpwood Dragon or another Freezing Witch Bendy. Either way, we would Soul Blast 1, get a Blaster Dark out to our hand, which is good. So that way we can set up our ride for next turn if you don't already have a Blaster Dark in hand. Typically, he's the one you call first. If you already have him in hand, that's fine. Call out a Bendy, no big deal. And get ready for your Blaster Dark ride next turn. But these 3 in culmination really enable that superior ride engine. Super, super critical. So you want to always have one of her in hand. If you don't open with her, be a little aggressive in your mulligan, honestly. That is the juice of our deck that really gets us going. So yeah, try to be a little aggressive in getting her. Moving on then, we have another main target. I am running 3 Swordbreakers, Blackwing Swordbreaker. Choose another grade 1 5k body that when placed, we can counterblast 1, draw a card. This unit, when placed from hand, it gets an additional 5k. Really just playing this for the draw power. Pretty standard, you know, it's been in pretty much every, I believe every Shadow Paladin mainline deck for a long time. Yeah, even in the Clareth Sword build. So yeah, the draw power is nice if placed from hand too. It's not just a 5k body, which is really cool. So moving on then, another main target. Our last main target is actually a one of. This is Abyssal Owl, just came out in Phantom Blaster Aeon. Its skill is that if you're an opponent, you and your opponent have the same Vanguard grade, we can, instead of counterblasting, we can pay this with a Soul Blast. Basically Soul Blast or Counter Blast, whichever one we choose, which we are in the driver's seat for choosing most times with this. This is why I use it. Just one of, we are able to just draw a card. Yeah, more draw power. We really need to draw into our key pieces. This deck being so piece reliant, and if we're not getting them, kind of screwed in a lot of different, not 100%, but it's nice just to have that ability to choose whether we're going to Soul Blast or Counter Blast to draw that card. So that's why I run it. I run it only at a one of because most of the time I'm calling this for the Soul Blast ability. Otherwise, I would call the Swordbreaker. We sometimes run into not a huge soul issue, but sometimes you're going to find that you don't really have the soul for it. You don't want to soul out and Soul Blast the Phantom Blaster Dragon. You want to kind of have that in soul so you can kind of always enable your PBO rides if need be. So yeah, just running it at a one of. You can up those. You can play with the ratios however you want for Swordbreaker and him, but I like him at a 1 for right now. Next grade 3 is our Transient Revenger Masquerade. His skill is when on a rearguard circle, we get to counterblast 1, put this into our soul, call a Blaster Dart from drop zone to our rearguard circle, and that unit gets an additional +5. So been around for a while, staple in kind of the Mordred builds previously, but again, I know we are kind of going with a hybrid here. I still find that he's very useful. If you have that extra counterblast, pop that out. You're going to get not 1, but 2 force markers. If you call a Blaster Dart from hand, pop him, over him, retire, counterblast 1, get your Blaster Dart out, bam, you just generated 2 force markers if Mordred is your Vanguard. So I like him. I find that he still is very useful. Also, when it boosts, it gets an additional +3k. So it's nice not to have another 5k body in there. So yeah, we are running him at a 3 of. Don't really need more, I feel. And for the very last grade 1, we're running kind of like a tech. This is Knight of Old Grudges, Meluth, whatever. But his skill is that when our rearguard is retired by a card's ability, we may have this unit get an additional +10,000 until the end of turn. It hurts to be a 7k body, but with that additional 10, we're constantly retiring stuff. I mean, let's list off some things I can retire. The regular vanilla Phantom Blaster Dragon, the PBO retires, and to get off that multi-attack, you really do need to retire, so you are at least getting 1 retire on a lot of different cards. The other Revenger Masquerade, the grade 2 Searcher, that guy retires a card. Bendy retires a card. A lot of different things retire themselves or other cards, the Dumpwood Dragon. So this guy is pretty much always going to go live every single turn, and it really enables you to beef up your multi-attack. So if I'm on PBO, I retire the card in front of this, and I summon out I call out another one. This guy just got the additional +10k, adding 10k on top of whatever you just called out right there. 17k is definitely a good booster. So I run him at a 1-0. It's nice to see him, not 1000% necessary to our strategy, but definitely a little bit of icing on the cake. Moving on to our trigger lineup, not too crazy. As I mentioned, this is kind of a piece reliant deck, so I'm running 4 Perfect Guard Sentinel draw triggers and 1 regular draw trigger. This is the new one out of the set. I just like the ability to draw a little bit more. Sometimes like I said, we need those key pieces, so I still want the pressure of a lot of crits, but I am running these 5 draw triggers. It's nice to draw into those pieces, so yeah. There is that. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it a little bit too much, but 4 heals, no biggie. And then we are running 7 crits then. ignore the different kind of cards. I like to just screw with the ratio so that if people are counting, you know, my drop zone or whatever it may be, then that might not be 1000% sure what I'm actually running. But yeah, we are running 7 criticals. It's good to have that pressure on, like I said. When you're swinging, especially with like Blaster Dark, you know, if you're going that Force 1 route, you're not pressuring for multiple criticals every single turn. So if you swing with Mordred, you pop another critical on one of your super big Blaster Darks, becomes a little bit more pressure. Also, you can get lucky, kind of like it's just a high roll PBO. If they're gonna take your 2 crit PBO, you open this guy, maybe they were at 3 previously and they figure they can just take it, boom, you're gonna finish them off. So yeah, I like running this trigger lineup. I think that is not bad at all. And then for our starter, it could be anything obviously, but I'm still running this guy, the little Crisis Revenger Fritz. I just personally like the artwork. There are some cool different ones, but yeah. Let us get into some test hands with this just to kind of demonstrate what the deck can do. I know I've talked a lot about it, but let me show you in action. All right, so let's get into a test hand really quick. I'm gonna shuffle this up, see where it goes. I'm really enjoying the deck, honestly. It's super fun to play, not very linear. Always kind of keeping your opponent on their toes. If you're doing the best 2 out of 3, they still have to think, hey, are they going into Mordred? Are they going into PBO? So yeah, not really telegraphing all of your plays, which is nice. I feel like with the regular just Mordred build or just with the PBO build, you're kind of just setting yourself up for your opponent to just kind of adapt to whichever play style. They know, hey, look, if they're on PBO, I'm gonna hold this perfect guard. If you're on Mordred, you know, they know to take 1 or 2 attacks to try to get those triggers, defensive triggers. So let's see, we got a Swordbreaker and an Owl. Do have a Mordred and a Blaster Dark. I'm gonna put back 2. Let's put back 3 actually. Let's try to get that in main. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, well, we have enough grade 3s. We'll probably get one by our grade 3 turn, but we do have our main and our Swordbreaker, and that sets us up for our Superior Ride engine. I'm just going to shuffle one more time. Again, you can kind of be aggressive in your mulligan, trying to get that in the main. That really sets you up. So long as you have that and one of the grade 1 in hand, we are good. So we're not necessarily going to have the G assist on grade 3. Hopefully we get a grade 3 otherwise. All right, so let's just assume that we go first. We're gonna stand and draw. We get this guy. Yeah, I'll ride him. Let's do that. Draw. I love drawing triggers. My specialty. You're also gonna play in the main. Use your skill. Going to get out. Let's get out. Where is he? A Dump Hood Dragon. I'm just gonna show you. I know we have a Blaster Dark in hand, but deck thinning is deck winning, so to speak. I know Blaster Dark is a target for PBO, but we are just gonna run through what our standard Superior Ride would look like if we did not have a Blaster Dark in hand. So I'm going to Soul Blast 1, retire this card, search our deck. Whoops, I shouldn't have shuffled for a Blaster Dark. There we go. Add that to hand. And then we're gonna pass turn. Let's assume, you know, they're on grade 1, they hit a trigger, they don't hit a trigger, whatever. They just damage us 1. Hit a Freezing Witch Bendy, no big deal. Now it's our turn, stand and draw. All right, so we did get the Mordred, not bad. We are now going to actually ride into Blaster Dark. I know previously in Mordred builds you kind of wanted to ride the Nullity Revenger Masquerade, but now Blaster Dark is our target to get this combo off. We're gonna use Nemain once again, super crucial. We're gonna get a Freezing Witch Bendy. Where is she at? There we go. We're gonna get one of her out. And actually, I'm just gonna pull out the Phantom Blaster Dragon that we need. There we go, just so I don't have to go in again. Oops, daisy. There we go. Going to Soul Blast 1 again. And then ride PVD. Now he does not have any live effects this turn. I'm going to actually put the force marker on our rearguard circle here, just because I know we're gonna go into Mordred, it looks like, for next turn, so I want to have one of my blaster darks being as powerful as possible, so I'm gonna do that. I'm also going to call a Swordbreaker from hand down over here. She gets the +5. I'm gonna activate her skill, again, counterblast 1, and draw a card. Oops, easy, I put that upside down, jeez. Alright, so we draw a card. Alright, drawing triggers, I love it. Yeah, and let's go. Let us swing for, this is 20, right? Yeah, so even if they hit a trigger, we're still good. So we're gonna open up with this guy. This guy is 13, twin drive, 1, 2. Let's pretend they PG'd it or whatever it is. You just divvy up the power. Boom. Alright, over to them. Let's say they damage us twice. They hit a trigger, 1, 2. Let's do power draw. All right, now it's our turn. Yes, we don't have a PBO right now, but it's not the end of the world. We can ride our Mordred and get into a pretty decent turn here. Let's see, what do I have in my hand? I have him, no. Okay, not bad, not bad. All right, let's ride Mordred. I go here, force 1 again. Gonna move her back. What else am I gonna do? Let us use the main skill first. Let's get another 5k body. How many do I have in soul? You know what? Let's make this turn a little more powerful. Let's go and get Dump Hood Dragon. It's just gonna search out a Blaster Dark, might as well just pull it for that. Okay. So we always want to have that Phantom Blaster Dragon in soul. We don't want to soul that out, so that's why I just checked beforehand. So I know draw power's pretty good, but in this case, I just want my Mordred turn to be as effective as possible. There we go. And even though they can't restand, I still want to just start buffing up my field a little bit. Let's see. Let's call him down. Get another marker. Let's call him down. Let's get another marker. And this kind of helps us set up PBO if we draw into it. So let's see what else. Might as well call down the main. All right. And since we can't restand, we're assuming they're on grade 2 because we are going first. We are going to swing with Mordred. Let's see, 1, 2, boom. Yeah, so we did draw into the PBO. This is kind of what I was hoping for. We kind of just enabled ourselves to have a really nicely set up force marker board. I have tons of triggers in hand, so I'm definitely not gonna die next turn. I would really be surprised if someone pulled off something like that. But swing, you know the deal. All right, let's go into next turn. Let's assume I drop 1, 2, 3, and I don't know, PG something here. All these cards from my hands. Let's say we survived the turn and we only took 1 damage. Oh, Blaster Dark, damn, hate to see it. All right, now it's our turn. Stand and draw. It's up to us really if we honestly want to go into PBO. Obviously, we're not really playing anyone right now. You kind of just have to decide for yourself. But since this is just like a playtest thing, we are going to assume that I did ride into him. Now he gets the extra plus 10k and an extra critical, which is really nice. I'm not going to use the main. Yeah, let's see. Let's go. So I'm going to firstly swing with him. Venom Blaster Overlord's going to replace him anyway, so I did not boost him. We're going to then counterblast 1. When it attacks Vanguard, yeah, we're going to replace him. We're going to get another anything with Blaster in its name. Let's get the Phantom Blaster Dragon out because he's kind of a dead card if we draw him. We don't want to ride him anymore or anything like that. I mean, you can. He's not absolutely terrible, but at this point, it's not really what we want. Boom. Yep. So now we are back. Let's twin drive. 1, 2. No triggers. And swing. So yeah, this is kind of just how the deck works out. Super versatile, like I said. You can really choose if you wanted to stay on Mordred in that instance, if you wanted to go into PBO. I just wanted PBO to show you, but PBO gets you 4 attacks per turn. Staying on Mordred gets you a little bit more. Really looking at your opponent's hand size helps you measure what you really want to do. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. If you guys liked the content, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you want to see next. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. This is Alex from Teen Generations signing out.